Oh man.
All right. It's Fright Night with Ferocious V, and we have just basically the regular cast, except for one, and we'll get to that in a moment. Fuzzy, you want to do intros?
Uh, no, you can handle intros.
Oh, come on. You do this to me all the time. All right, Silent Cypher, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Uh, Hi, I am the Silent Cipher. Um, it's great to be back. Thanks again for having me and tolerating my shenanigans. I look forward to alienating a large majority of folks in my opinions on this film as we move forward. Um, it Yes, I'm looking forward to this conversation. From when I started the movie all the way through, I was like, this is going to be an interesting topic. This is going to be a fun one to break apart with you guys. So,
All right, and Presto Beaches, how you been doing since last?
It's been what, 2 weeks? Two,
Yeah.
3 weeks? Been decent. We did the famous Monsters event. Got to meet up with you guys there. That was fun. Last Friday I had foot surgery, so I'm still recovering from that. But
oh dang.
yeah, looking forward
Yeah.
to discussing this one because it wasn't one of the worst ones, but it's definitely one of the most interesting ones.
And Fuzzy Belvedere.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here with you guys. Yeah, this movie's definitely it was a little bit different than what I expected. I was expecting something like I always used to joke with my wife back in the day watching Cinemax and Showtime. You know those after hour shows were like Skinemax and Show Me Time. It's like this wasn't quite that level, but interesting enough. But I'm pretty sure we'll get into it. But man, yeah, this
I wasn't
definitely
expecting.
yeah, definitely not the worst. Definitely not a summer camp massacre, but yeah.
Ooh.
You just never gonna let me live that down, right? Just
I,
never.
I, well,
Was this
Kaneda
coming out?
now will be the one that'll get the smoke for this one.
Hey, at least I was on that episode. Notice
Yeah.
he's not
Uh huh.
here.
Uh huh.
Ooh.
It's a
Shots
Mm.
strange
fired.
absence. It's very, very timely absence.
Hopefully he's listening.
Hopefully.
Prepare himself.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, since well, I mean I already knew Fuzzy's answer. Um, but we also went to the Mahone drive-in last week, and we watched three of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Uh, Definitely OG. None of the remakes, none of the new stuff, and then we watched the Evil Dead trilogy, the original. So no remake on that one either. So it was a nice time getting to see them on the big screen and everything. And then it was just back to normal work and everything. So, but tonight we are talking about zombie strippers. Um, it's not the original kind of plot like with zombie decadence or zombies, where you have the strippers are trying to escape the zombies. That's not what happened here. So, we're gonna open it. Who wants to take first? Impressions.
I mean,
There
the
you
name kind of says it all. Like
go.
zombie strippers. You got zombies, you got strippers. You got strippers that turn into zombies. Like they're not really hiding anything with the title of this movie, I would say. So it'd be more of a plot twist if it was something else. But yeah, it was an interesting one.
All right, and Cypher.
Sorry, I just realized I was on mute. Yes, no, I think when in the film you actually have a moment where they're like, there's zombies and there's strippers, zombie strippers. Like the fact that you actually put that into the movie, it's like, yeah, okay, we got it, we got it. It's zombie strippers. That's a high quality right there. Like, just in case anyone was confused, for the last like 50 minutes of the film, these are zombie strippers. Interesting idea, I think. I don't know. This we talked about it a little bit before we jumped on the air, but I feel like at a runtime of 90 minutes, this movie is probably one of the longest movies I feel like I've ever seen, because even though it's 90 minutes, it feels like it was like 6 hours long. Which is a little shocking. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's great to see Robert Englund in a film again. Obviously, this was quite a while back, but you know, I grew up with Robert Englund as the eccentric neighbor in Paper Brigade on the Disney Channel. And so to find out that the guy who was like the eccentric, like weird PTSD neighbor in that was Freddy Krueger. And then so like, you know, I didn't know that as a kid going into that movie, and then that changed that movie quite a bit for me, because I was like, well, where'd all the other paper boys go? Like, was he hiding them in the basement downstairs? And like, was this the prequel to Freddy Krueger? Anyways, it's great to see him back in a film in this movie. I wish it were under different circumstances, but it was entertaining to see the Freddy Krueger in this. The movie, we're going to get into it more, of course, but it was a bad sign to me when we started into it, and this felt like it had a lower budget than The Underground.
Wow.
I just, the camera work alone, and surprisingly, I never thought I would say this, but the acting in The Underground I felt like was better than what we saw here, up until about the last 20 to 30 minutes of the film. I will say this is one of those ones, sometimes it feels like you've got those, like, it's a slow grind. This one, I feel like the movie got better towards the end. But by then, like, you were already 4 hours into the movie, 5 hours into the movie. And so you were like ready to be done.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Man, oh man. For me, my initial impressions, the title, while self-explanatory, I was, I guess, expecting a little bit different of an outcome. Like, I, was hoping that it would be almost like parts of what was that movie? The Boy Scouts Guide to Surviving a Zombie Apocalypse, when they do go to that one strip club kind of thing. I figured, well, maybe it'll be kind of centralized around something like that kind of deal. Sure. But yeah, it's definitely a different level of movie. I was hoping for like the normal B movie kind of, shenanigans to some extent, but it had its ups and downs. I'll leave it at that. It wasn't quite what I had hoped for, but initial impressions, I went in expecting, especially with Robert Englund being in it, Jenna Jameson, it's a different line of work in comparison, but I was expecting a little bit more out of what I saw, but
nice choice of words with the ups and downs. You got the ups with the strippers and downs when they're zombies,
or the fact that the film primarily takes place on a pole. Generally, so like it's all ups and downs, like nonstop.
Man, you didn't even know the gold you just said, Fuzzy.
No, but it's definitely worth checking out if you ever wanted to see what a strip club would be in the zombie apocalypse. But yeah, definitely a different take of what I was expecting.
Okay. So to give you all a little background, this grossed a whopping $82,360.
Oh
Man,
wow.
that seems high.
And back in the day, that's probably like 100,000 nowadays.
So that was their box office take, right? And
Yeah.
we have to keep in mind the fact that this film, fun fact, because I went into like the deep dive on this movie because I was curious. This originally was going to be a direct to DVD, but
Mhm.
because they ended up getting those 2 stars into it, it actually ended up with a limited theatrical release. So I'm sure they were hoping for more than 82,000.
I mean, Tito
So,
Ortiz was in this also. That was like, wasn't this during the prime of his UFC career?
Mm.
well, this was back in 2008 when it was released.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
was
April.
Tito Ortiz doing UFC?
Not sure.
He was in this?
Yeah, he was the bodyguard.
Let me
Mm.
see.
Or it must have been like right after his career or something ended. Like, it was like, damn, I need some money. I'll just do this movie with my wife. Because I think they were married at the time or dating
Yeah.
or they had twins, him and Jenna, I think.
Mm.
So
Full
it's one of those
patron.
ones where he's like, I owe you. So I'm going to do this movie with you. And then he probably regretted it.
Or it was like the other way around where she's like, he's like, I really want to do this movie. If we get you in it, they'll be forced to cast me. I could be the bodyguard. And they're like, just look like a dick. He's like, I do that all the time.
He's like, I got
Well,
that
let's
on lock.
see.
We're good.
See here. So his UFC, let's see, credits.
I think it was the early 2000s. But I don't know
Yeah.
like how.
It's okay, so he was
okay.
2005 to 2013. So yeah,
So yeah,
it was like
probably
in the middle,
like, yeah,
early.
he was getting popular or kind of popular. I think he was the champ at one point.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm sure at the time, just having his name was a bit of a draw also.
And
I
not so
knew-
much because I didn't know who he was.
Wow.
No
I knew he
offense,
looked.
but
I knew he looked familiar. I knew he looked familiar when the nerdy religious boyfriend tries to sneak in at the beginning, and he like stops
Yeah.
him, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
gives him some BS excuse, and he's like, well, I guess you can stay then. When I saw him, I was like, it's like, dude, this guy looks familiar. What is going on with his face? Like, why does it look like his jaw is like separated from his face? I was like, he looks so familiar, but I just cannot place him. No, that
Yeah.
makes way more sense. I had no idea that was even him. That's
Yeah.
a
I'm
good catch.
surprised. I'm surprised you guys even noticed him. I didn't even notice him.
I
Really,
mean,
throughout the whole entire movie.
well, did you watch UFC at all?
He's got a familiar
Well,
face. That's the thing.
well,
Is
no.
like
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him until he said that, and I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. But
No, that's not what I meant. What I meant was like I didn't really see him kind of like existing even in the movie. Like he was there and then out of sight, out of mind. Like I didn't really like he really didn't add that much to anything.
He
So
was just
yeah,
keeping
I
an eye
mean,
on his girlfriend, you know.
yeah, I think that's really what it was.
It probably was. Like they're probably dating the time was like, well, I'm gonna be on set and I'm gonna watch. And then like their director was like, dude, if we just film this guy standing against a wall, it looks like he's a bouncer. Like we could put him in the movie and he doesn't even know it. And that's what happened. That's how he made the movie.
he's already hanging out here because his girlfriend's on the set, so we may as well just like put him in a fancy suit and make him look like he's part of the crew.
Yeah.
Like, hey Tito, can you look like a douchebag? Got it. And then the rest is history.
Yeah, I'm like So I've watched movies with bouncers in them before, but they've always developed the character of the bouncer a little bit more than just standing against a wall, kind of, maybe one line and that's it.
I mean, that was
So yeah.
how much more do you want to define this guy? That's what he is. That's what he does. You give him
I
a speaking
know,
role, he
but-
sounds dumb.
The amount of traumatic brain injuries that guy's taken, like I mean,
the
he's
thing, though.
got the
I've-
personality of a piece of cardboard at this point. Like,
Well, I understand that, but I've seen other movies like again, Zombie Decadence. They have a bouncer in there, right?
Mm.
Maybe.
He's a goofball / kind of stupid. And he plays it well, but he's also a memorable character, and he's got pretty decent lines in there. But let's go back to Fuzzy's favorite, the Boy Scouts Guide to a Zombie Apocalypse. Even that guy, he had what? Not even a speaking part, and you still remember the bouncer in that movie, and he didn't even have a speaking part. He just looked at them across the street, and that was memorable. This guy was not memorable at all. And he had a line.
Maybe that was intentional.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I would argue that one. He probably did just get the role because he showed up with her. And they're like, oh, we need a big guy. Stand against the wall. There you go.
Yeah, they were already over budget at that point. Robert Englund had pretty much taken up 50%, and then Jenna Tate took up at least 40%. And I didn't even know the other actress she had made mention of before that.
So Cypher, did you find the actual amount that the budget was?
No, you know what? I did not find the budget, but we can find that very fast, I am sure. Let me give me a second. I'll get on that one.
Because I'm curious on how much.
Oh, it's gonna make us all sad, I'm sure, no matter what it
Well,
is.
you were
like $2 million. What?
The budget was $500,000.
Okay, that's about 550,000 more than I expected.
500,000.
All right, come on, find it. All right, so
wow. Okay.
So my impression was when I originally watched this, the same time that Presto probably watched it 10 years ago, I was younger. And, me now and me back then, it was kind of cool. And for somebody that's younger, it's probably kind of cool because, it is Jenny Jameson. She did look good at that time. I'm not talking about now. We won't revisit the con. But Roxy Saint was in there, and there were a few other girls. Was the the one that was kind of like the Jesus freak in there? A little bit annoying, yes, but that's the character, how they wrote it, probably. But now it's like I just realized in the movie that was the whole plot, that strippers turned into zombies. That was literally the whole plot.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing beyond that.
No.
That was a little disappointing in my realization. That realization was a little disappointing. That was my first impression.
Sure. Yeah, like the hope is that maybe they're gonna like expound on things and you're gonna have like more reason for why we're even there.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that that's totally not it. Yeah. Of which there was definitely not that. Oof.
Yeah. It's like these strippers were just about being strippers, and we all know that's not true. So
I mean, it is for these ones, apparently.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, a guy really wrote this. I don't believe there was any female influence whatsoever in this movie, in the writing of the script. No female influence whatsoever.
I don't know if I'd say that there was necessarily a script as much as there was like hey, we want you to say misogynistic stuff to women. Go. The camera's live. Like, I don't feel like there was really that much put into it, to be honest.
And the girls were given the direction of you're strippers and you're competing against each other because you want to be the ultimate stripper. Now go.
So I will say, because like I said, I did a little bit of a deep dive and I found some interesting details about this movie. The inspiration for this movie. So this a couple of these things will tell you exactly everything you need to know about this film, right? The movie was loosely based on Eugene Ionesco's play Rhinoceros, which is about people turning into rhinoceroses.
I see the connection.
Yeah, so okay, sure. The origin of it was that the movie started as a joke, and the director, Jay Lee, thought it would be a good idea to make it after he kept laughing at the joke. I would argue the movie started as a joke. The movie ended as a joke as well. So mission accomplished, I suppose. The movie was shot in 18 days, which kind of almost, that feels shocking to me that it took that long, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was the makeup that took so long.
It has to have been, because you look at it and like they literally had like 2 sets total. So
it wasn't their lines. It was not their lines. They didn't have a problem with that, right?
No, and they didn't have to worry about memorizing the script whatsoever, since it was basically just like, hey, if you have a stream of consciousness, we just want you to say what you're thinking. Let's starting now.
I mean, halfway through the movie, it was almost just like a dance off between the zombies. Like, who's the better zombie stripper? Like, it was like Save the Last Dance, but with zombies and strippers.
So I think Robert Englund
how dare
in here.
You do Save the Last Dance like that. Save the Last Dance was good.
I think Robert Englund had a lot of range in this thing. I don't think he had much of a choice because he carried pretty much the whole movie.
His back probably hurt after he was done with this. Like,
yes,
you mentioned that he had some
movie.
arthritis in his hand, and so he can't do like Nightmare on Elm Street anymore. But I think he probably has arthritis in his back from carrying this film.
And his hand. And his hand.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, he had to drag them.
I go back to like the whole, how do these people, like, how did this guy get $500,000 to get this movie made? Like, how do some people read these scripts and are like, yeah, I'll back that. Like, even if it's not even a huge budget one, like say like $100,000 or you know,
I know how he got it.
It's because the TNA matinee they got signed on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even a good TNA matinee.
Yeah,
that was the worst part. Like, I at least thought with this movie, you know, like even if it's a total bomb, at least maybe there's some eye candy to an extent that will be interesting or entertaining to watch. And it wasn't even like, I just kept thinking like, you found the ladies of the night down there on 20th Street, and you were like, yo, we got a warm meal for you. Would you like to do this film? And they're like, sure. Sounds great.
I think they did worse than that. I think they took what they thought was high class and then turned it into that.
Oh,
I mean, I think maybe they found the women from Patterson, New Jersey. Like, maybe that's where they came from.
God,
No.
Patterson Street, Ogden. Jeez.
They took the women to Patterson, left them there for about 2 hours, and then picked them back up.
And they met Skateboard Dude.
Oh, yeah.
They met Skateboard Dude and like, all right, we'll do this movie. You don't even have to pay us.
Yeah, just get us away from Skateboard Dude.
Yeah, and get us away from that guy.
Can I say, like, strip teases that we were getting, the quote unquote strip teases that we were getting, if you can call it that, it only got worse when their skin started to rot.
Yeah.
Because like then they all of a sudden looked like they had gonorrhoepicephalitis simplex 6. And I was just like, what are we doing? Like, I was already not motivated by watching this, and like the dancing was cringy and painful.
Yeah.
But then when I saw that, I was like, dear God, what happened? Like I'm sure, as they said, like this was a brain idea of someone, like it was the brain trust. So like, this is hilarious. Some things like don't just work out when you put them on paper.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
No, they don't.
someone thought at least for 90 minutes it worked out.
6
No, but-
hours.
Yeah. I just like, my biggest thing is I've been to some dives, and this wasn't even on that level. Like even the dives that I've been to in my younger years, it's like I think that would have made for a more interesting start to the movie. Because even when you've seen strippers that like don't care until you start throwing dollars at them, kind of thing. Like in the beginning, before they became zombified, they were doing like the bare minimum. They weren't doing any pole work. They weren't doing any major spins. And usually, you'll have at least one girl in there that will still put on a show, while the other ones just like wiggle a bit until you throw dollars or whatever. But it just felt like they missed all of that kind of attitude that the girls would have, and just made it where they were catty. And then now they're zombies. Now they're hustling. Now they're working, and the guys are cheering it on, even though they're covered in blood. It's like, wait, what?
It's like a wish. It was a wish strip club where like you like what you think and then what you got were like totally different. It's like, all right, and then you're like, this is nothing like I expected.
You know what's ironic about that too is like you look at everyone who was in that film, and I'm convinced if I went into a local strip club here, for example, I feel like I would run into each one of those people. Like they look like people who I would see at a strip club, and yet somehow they weren't able to embody or pretend like they were part of a strip club. Like it's funny for people who look like they're part of a strip club, they could not act like they were from a strip club whatsoever.
It was like they acted like they were the first time in a strip club. Like it was like you get a bunch of virgins together and you're like you want to see your first couch. Yeah, you want to see your first pair of boobs? Come with me. And then they take them there and they're just like, yeah, money, and throw it around and
hey, let me write you a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me write you a check. Oh my God, that was
a blank check. Let me.
I don't know.
And then I felt bad for that guy. I was like, "You're that lonely? Like, you got more problems."
Yeah. So when you go into a strip club, those the women, how they were portraying, these characters. You honestly wouldn't see those types of characters in a strip club for real. One, there's no Jesus freak running around with this more morality that she has to keep, and then she has this, epiphany that she's going to do this, and it's going to be, challenging but rewarding. And then she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, you don't have that.
She was trying to find herself. Give her a break.
You've never been to Utah and found some of our lovely religion and someone on bath salts then, because that sounds.
Yeah, but remember, she wasn't on drugs, so we can't include that.
Yeah,
she was high on Christ.
They're not. These people claim they're not on drugs too. So
she was there to I don't even know why she was there. Like, what was the reason?
I think it was something about grandma or something.
Oh,
it was grandma needed surgery.
She's like, I'm gonna show my chesticles for grandma. For grandma. And then she was like, I'm gonna get laid for grandma. And then she's like, I'm gonna become a corpse for grandma.
Now we gotta remember, people, this is before GoFundMe's were available, so people were more tied up for money and had to get creative. Now you can
go OnlyFans activity.
Oh yeah, I was about to say OnlyFans.
Now you could
Important.
just, do 8
Yeah,
GoFundMe's by the end of this pod, and
They can't be on there making money off of feet pics like I do. And so I get it. They're a little bit hard up for money, and that's fine. Like it was a different time.
different time indeed.
Yeah, like it was so long ago. It was only 2008.
That's a long time ago.
Bro,
That-
that's
that feels
15
like-
years.
Yeah,
That's a long time ago for many of the people that we interface with online. That's probably more
True.
than half of their lifespan
yeah.
or lifetime, not
True.
lifespan. I'm not saying
True.
people are gonna
Oh,
like we're
Yeah,
we're
but-
old now, whether we like it or not. We're old.
Yeah.
yeah.
Boy, do I feel that.
To get 500,000, I think it was pretty easy for them to get 500,000 when they said the women were going to take their tops off.
Yeah.
In the
Kind of.
movie.
But man, I mean, I just wish that they would have gone for like 500,000 and like $50, so they could at least put an extra little bit of money into the acting, because even $50 I feel like would have maybe helped, like boost some energy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they should have had like stripper advisors. Like, we're all going to take a trip to a strip club, and you're going to, do your homework and watch these strippers or something. Just, I don't know.
And you're gonna have a stripper you're gonna have a mentor stripper that will talk to you and tell you like what a stripper is really like and stuff like that. How they're really catty, because that was not cattiness of a stripper. What
Mm-mm.
Jenny
They-
Jameson was doing with the other one. That's not how catty they get.
They should have did like a Big Brother program where the older ones mentored the younger ones and passed on the legacy of the place.
Oh shit! The Lord of the Rings of the porn business, basically.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Or
Here,
Star
hold Candy's
Wars.
bag.
Follow me, Padawan.
Got to hold Candy's tip bag and follow her around. Make sure she's lathered up in baby oil.
So, okay. So I'm sure we're gonna get to it, but I want to make sure that we don't miss some of the highlights of this film, because again, on a 6-hour film, like it's easy for things to get lost.
Mm.
But I just want to mention the quote. She's got nice boobs, and then the desperate religious boyfriend responds with, "Yes." What does it mean? What?
That was an iconic scene. I wish they would have made a T-shirt like that.
What is that quote?
Honestly, wait a minute. Honestly, I just want to say this. I was trying to figure out what they meant by nice boobs, because I didn't see none. But I'm not in
Yeah,
silicone.
I agree. I agree. That's a very
I'm not
good
in
point.
silicone, so that might have been the problem.
Maybe
Hmm.
that's why he said, "But what does it mean?" I don't know. I just, when he said that, I paused the movie for a second and I was like, "What?" Like,
See,
Maybe most of the people
did I
were
miss
high during
that?
the movie, and he was coming off of his buzz or something, and that was
I
like one of those
actually-
ad libs they let stay in kind of thing.
he
I
had
thought
to
it
have been,
was,
I don't know.
Easter egg to Nightmare Before Christmas when Jack's doing his whole spiel. And he's
this?
like, "But
What's
what
this?"
does it mean? What does it
Hmm.
mean?" And I was like, "Oh, that was a Nightmare Before Christmas Easter egg. Like that was cool." That's how
No,
I'm
I
thinking
just-
of it, at least.
Now I just get the image of like, what's this? What's this? A stripper with busted tits. What's this?
Yeah, that
Sorry,
was.
too soon. Sorry. Okay,
No, we're 10 minutes in. We could say that stuff.
that's true.
Anything goes now.
All right, so wait, we got to talk about the dancing. We got to talk further about the
Yes.
dancing,
Yes.
okay? Because, I didn't see any real pole work. I saw
I
a
didn't even
couple.
see a poll.
Dude, that pole was not a pole. It was like one of those closet bars. Because if you saw how much flex that sucker had, I was convinced someone was going to snap their neck when it bent in half. Like,
Mm.
It would have been cool to see Easter eggs, like over and under how many times that pole like fell when they were doing stuff on it.
seriously. that
I'd
thing
say
was, like,
17,
that-
easily
that thing was
17.
super unstable.
Mm.
They need
Like-
whoever worked on those ladies' breasts to work on that bar because the breasts were stable. They were firm, but this was not at all.
I didn't see no jiggle whatsoever.
No, it looked like a painting. It looked like someone just put a smock over them or like one of those, those tuxedo shirts. It's like
Mhm.
that. They put one of those over them, but it was just a boob shirt. Because
See, I
nothing
think-
moved.
I think my boobs jiggle more than theirs.
Yeah, it had to be all silicone, no saline or natural or nothing. But
Yeah, that was not a good mix. They got the raw deal on that one.
no. But as far as pole work, yeah, I have to agree with Fee. I guess I'm used to seeing ones like twirl around upside down and whatnot, or
Backward
do like
spin.
Are we still
Forward
talking about the
spin.
boobs or the bar?
the
Oh.
bar, the
Oh.
boobs. Like
Okay.
I just
sorry.
yeah, the boobs should at least jiggle or move. Like as they're walking, they should bounce. Kind of
Sure,
in rhythm,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing or something. But yeah, it. I mean, I guess the only positive thing was Jenna was there with her implants, which were probably the bigger of the pairs of all the girls and stuff like that. But it just they probably should have had a better mix of like natural or saline or just ones that would dance, that would actually do what you would see in a strip club. And I would have to believe there should have been at least one strip club advisor, whether it's the owner of the strip club or at least one of the girls from one of the strip clubs, kind of thing. That would have, I think, helped give the authentic look a little bit more.
Well,
The
Or
only
at
wait a
least
minute.
others.
I want to see. I want to see if they actually had
an
a.
advisor, I doubt it.
I want to see. Let me see if they
I-
did.
I doubt
I
it. 'Cause
do-
I would imagine if they had like an advisor or something, they would have been able to like film at a real place, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and not like
yeah.
a really makeshift closet with some
Yeah.
neon lights on it.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was like
I honest-
grandma's closet with all of her like
So-
BDSM stuff. It was
And yet
weird.
it
Well,
still
here's the
looked
thing.
cleaner than a normal one.
Yeah.
I know, but here's the thing about that though, is that sometimes they kind of prefer making up the set themselves rather than going to a club because it gives them a little bit more freedom in their vision.
And
So I
less
totally
STDs.
understand.
Well, their
them.
vision was weak as fuck if that was their vision, because
I
there
mean, with all
wasn't
the
much to
things,
that club. Let's
with
be
all
honest.
the things being like grinded on and railed on and stuff, it probably is a better sanitary decision to use grandma's basement instead of an actual strip club also. Because
Would
like
you
there's
guys-
a lot of grinding work in that film. Not good grinding work, but like grinding work in general.
Would any
So,
of you have
like,
gone to that
you know.
club? No.
No.
I'd be afraid my dick would fall off after I was gone.
So Robert
Like,
England
that place
was
is
wise.
sketchy. I'm right there. I'm right there with Freddy Krueger. Like I'm right there with him. Like I'd be spraying Bactine on everything I touched. My
Yeah, he was
God.
like,
You-
"Don't touch me, get away!" And then he pulls out the lights on. I'm just like, "This motherfucker's
Yeah, dude.
smart." Like,
100% alcohol spray on anything and everything you could touch. My goodness.
Mhm.
You know that they had a script supervisor.
so two people were like, "Yeah, this
See.
sounds good."
Now I'm shocked because not only did they have a script, but they also had a script supervisor.
State of the
Yeah.
script.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, maybe it's like, maybe they use that term very loosely.
Yes.
Kind of like
Yeah.
other movies where it's like based on a true story. And it's like, what's it based on? It's like both their names were Barbara. Can you believe it? And it's like, oh my God, that is based on a true story.
Well,
So-
I mean, it technically was based on a true story, right? Because it was based on a guy that was like, yo, I got this funny joke. Let's make it a
Uh-huh.
movie. And
Uh-huh.
that's why we're here right
Mhm.
now.
That's true.
Do y'all remember any animals in this?
Whoa, what did
Animal.
I miss?
What?
Did you
No.
watch the extended cut or something?
Wait. Oh,
There was
Hey.
an animal trainer.
wait.
They
you
had
Did
an
I watch
animal
the right
trainer.
movie?
Oh, was there like bestiality that got removed from the film?
I don't know. There was an animal trainer.
I will
Oh,
I
man.
will say
Not remembering any animals.
I don't either.
What do you mean?
I-
How are you finding out there's an animal trainer?
She's
What is-
probably.
So I'm on
IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what they called the
I-
girls? Animals?
I don't
They were so ferocious.
I don't know.
ferocious.
Ooh, you see how I did
So wait a minute. Here
Oh.
we go. So the closest I can find is that they had people doing stunts.
Okay.
As
That was about
animals?
it.
that?
No, just like for like the action and stuff like that. They didn't have anything relating to like a stripper, like coordinator, or stripper, what do you call it? It's kind of like a coordinator or somebody or a trainer or somebody that would help the girls, like, at least dance like a stripper. They didn't have anything like that.
That
It
sounds
showed.
like the director's brother or brother-in-law needed a job, and so they were like, "You're gonna be the pet trainer or the animal trainer," and he's like,
It
"Cool,
was a
when did the
girl.
animal show up?" He's like,
It was
"Well,
a female.
we'll see." I do want to say though, because I noticed this when I paused the movie a couple times, and it kept making me wonder what we're missing. The episode or the version we were watching on Tubi claimed it was the special edition.
Mhm.
I want to know the difference between the regular edition, special edition, and what DVD extras we missed out on.
Ooh, the special edition, I think it's clear that in the regular version they only use ping pong balls, but in the special edition we got
They
ping pong
used
and pool balls.
and
Yeah.
golf balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got
Yeah, that could have been it.
that's the scene I remember. Like, if you talk about movies and memorable scenes, when I saw it 10 years ago and you asked for us to watch this movie, I was like, oh my God, I remember that scene. Then like, I was like, I think a pool ball gets shoot out of her vagina and makes the guy's head explode. And I was like, nah. And then I was watching it and I was like, oh, it's clearly ping pong balls. Those don't do any damage. And then all of a sudden she
No.
pulls out pool balls and I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. And like, she somehow just like putting them in, shooting them out, reloading. She has a good reloading skill because
she launched those. She launched those at the speed of a professional baseball pitcher.
yeah, enough to do some
So,
damage.
I don't know what sort of like Kegel exercises that she was doing, but my goodness,
I found the
she is a
budget.
danger.
I found the
Did you find
budget.
the actual budget? Okay.
So it was in the trivia section. The film came in under budget. They didn't say how much. It was shot in only 18 days. Its original budget was $1 million.
No.
Oh my God.
No. Wait, where'd you
There's
get
no way.
500,000?
I got my
Crystal.
500,000. I Googled it quick, and that's what.
Nope. They're saying it was originally. They might have used.
what should it have been?
Yeah, it
They might have used 500,000, but the original budget was 1 million.
Wow.
1 million. Good. Ugh.
That was originally what they were given.
I'm pretty sure I could put a better zombie stripper movie together for that kind of money. I wouldn't have to use any big names. Just go to
With my help, you could. Come on now.
We're shitting on this movie, but it wasn't a horrible movie. Like
Yes, it was.
I mean, compared to other ones,
you were wrong. I don't know if maybe you watched the wrong movie.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if you watched the wrong movie, maybe, but this was worse than The Underground, and I didn't think that was possible.
But we agreed the Underground was decent.
This is no 7 out of 10 fee. I don't want to hear any of that 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because if you say this is a 7 out of 10, I'm going to riot. I will riot.
What would you give this one, Fee?
Not a 7.
Not a 7?
Not a 7.
All right, higher or lower?
Yeah.
Lower.
Is this like an 8.7?
I was hoping she was going to say higher. I was hoping she was going to say higher.
I'm a little shocked.
If the
girl's boobs had jiggled, I would have given it a higher score.
And what did you give the massacre camp thingam movie we watched?
What, I give it like a 4 or something like that, Fuzzy?
Okay. Yeah, I think
I
it
think
was
it was
like a
about a
4 or
4.
5.
I don't think I get up to a
Man.
5.
Like I
Mhm.
said, Fuzzy, you're
You
the
rewind
luckiest
the
guy
tape.
ever. Whatever you
Why?
do, whatever you do means the world to her. She's so easy to please. I've seen it. Like we went out at King of Prussia after Famous Monsters, and you're like, "Hun, I got you a seat." She's like, "Oh my god, you get an 8.7, Fuzzy." And I'm just like, "Wow, that was odd." And
Gold
you're
Star
like,
Day.
"Yeah." You're like,
You
"Hey, I
know-
got extra napkins because I know sometimes we make a
Okay.
mess." And she's like, "All right, you're a solid 8.9 now." And I'm just like,
Wait a minute,
"This guy's gold."
wait a minute.
Damn.
You know what, Presto?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Fuzzy was freaking out. Was freaking out when he was with you. When you were talking to that girl.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Here we
Oh,
go.
Oh,
yeah, that
no.
probably looked bad.
Well, no, because I know if she comes over, she's gonna. Well, with Fee coming over, she's gonna chew me out like I did something wrong. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna stay silent. I'm just gonna not say anything because. And for reference, there was at Monster Mania, or not Monster Mania, but
Wait,
at the
are we
Monster
talking about
Con.
the girl of Kane
Famous
Hodder or the girl that asked me to take the picture?
The one that was
Oh, there
giving
was
the
another
autograph.
one. There
I
was
don't
another
remember the
one.
one on the picture. I think it was the. I know which one you're talking about on the picture, but the other
one-
one was the pump. It was like the pumpkin
Sam,
or
Sam.
scarecrow. Yeah.
Sam from Trick or Treat. She
I
was
need to go get some popcorn. 'cause
she
this is
was
gonna get
very
good.
nice. She was she had a Sam costume on,
Mhm.
and like I just met Kane Hodder, and me and Fuzz were standing there, and I had this little fan to help dry my autographs because I got a Funko Pop signed by him.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Oh my god, that's such a good idea." And I was like, "Hey, thanks," and stuff. And then she proceeded to say like how nervous she was to meet Kane, and she's super nervous. He's right there. And I was just trying to, hey, everyone's human. He eats like us. He goes to the bathroom like us, like everything. And she's like, "Oh, I'm autistic and stuff." And it was like, "Oh, okay." Like I didn't get that vibe at all. Like she seemed fine.
Mhm.
So I don't know like what kind of autism she had or whatever. But then like me and Fuzzy offered to go over to the table with her, meet and everything. She's like, no, no, no. And then she eventually went over and met him and said he was great and such a nice guy.
Wait a minute. Fuzzy, you offered to go over with her?
I did, but Fuzzy would have came with me. Fuzzy
Yeah.
would have held my pocket, not hers.
Fuzzy was the wingman.
Yeah. Whoa, I'm married. I don't
Just
need a
a wingman.
wingman for somebody else, not for me.
Well, I don't know. I
So-
mean, you just told me that you were holding pockets together.
No, Fuzzy was
and-
holding my pocket.
And this girl came on to you, and like you met Kane Hodder, and then you had drinks at the bar. That's what I heard.
I missed
All
the
right,
bar.
sorry, went off
If
the
I
rails.
missed-
No,
feel like I
Notice
missed
Fuzzy
something.
is very quiet this whole
Well,
entire
my-
time.
no,
we
my
did
thing
eat,
is
we did
that's
eat
a
at
smart
Guy
man.
Fieri's chicken, so if that's the bar, it was pretty damn good, right, Fuzz?
Yeah.
Guy's chicken was good.
Oh yeah. No, but no, the reason
eating
why I
guys'
went
meat over
silent
there.
during that whole deal was I've had instances where people come along after the fact, and then I'm the one that did something wrong because
Mhm.
some woman said something. Like
Or I'm
perfect
just
example,
standing there.
or is just hovering around me or whatever. I don't know. It's like, oh, like who are you? And it's like, what? I'm over here paying attention to whatever I'm doing, and she's going to
Dude.
chew me out for some girl being in my vicinity or whatever. So
Okay.
that was just
Okay,
one of those
I'm-
things where it's like, yeah, I'm going to be
So-
quiet because I know she's going to come over here and I'm going to be blamed for something I didn't do.
So
Like-
this reminds me of the viral TikTok sensation
Mhm.
of people going up to someone that's sitting on the curb and
Mhm.
asking them if they can hand her a sandwich.
What?
And then the guy goes back like the next day and is watching on TikTok and sees that the girl reversed it so it looks like she's walking up to him to give him a sandwich out of the the kindness of her heart, or like whichever version, the ones that make that person look like the bad person. And they're like, what son of a, like that's what I'm afraid this is, right? Is like you end up doing something and then you find yourself on KUTV the next day as like a predator.
Well,
Okay.
luckily that
So-
didn't. See, the problem is, I feel like I'm a people person, and there's times where people like I'll be like me and Fuzz mind our own business, and then like people just randomly come up and start talking to me, and then it's just like, man, I just wanted to like do my thing and get out of here. Now you're talking to me, like whether it's this interaction or other interactions, and it's just like, like can't you see I'm with my boy Fuzz over here? Like you got little ferocious feet that's gonna come around the corner and give us an ass whooping soon, so better bug off.
So-
But I will
so
say,
let me
let
me talk about my trauma though. So Fuzzy, tell them about when you got out of PLC and we went to go get your medical records.
Wait, is this something totally different?
Yeah, it's something totally different. This is why I
don't bring fee around. I understand.
No, it was like after PLDC, which is like training to be a sergeant in the military, and this was after I've already withdrew from officer school or whatever. Getting my medical records, one of the girls was like, "Oh, you have such nice eyes," because I have like I consider them medium brown, but some people say they are light brown.
I'm standing right next to him at the time.
Yeah,
next to him, not behind him, next to him.
Were you like at a counter or something? You are a little short, so maybe like they didn't see you or something.
Oh dang. Oh dang.
I missed you. It's been 2 weeks.
Shots
No,
fired.
but the one lady was like, "Oh, you have such nice brown eyes or nice eyes," and I was like, "Thank you. My wife loves them too," or something like that.
Because like, are you married? You're like, yeah, I got a wife. She's like, oh, it's so nice you're single.
She didn't say anything after that because she noticed. All of a sudden, she noticed I was standing there.
She saw the daggers.
Did she notice, or did you make it a point to be noticed? Like, there's a difference.
She's like, I'm Miss Brown Eyes. Thank you very much.
Well, that
sounds
bad.
Her
a look, you know. She did get a look.
You the death stare.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got some daggers because
you lasered her into non-existence.
I'll tell you though, going back to the convention, this Famous Monsters, it's the second year, and it's at the casino in Philly. And it's a small convention. It's not that big, but like if you want to meet people there, that's like the best place to meet them. Like I met Kane Hodder, who's Jason. I met Bill Johnson, who's Leatherface in the second Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I met Tyler Mane from the Rob Zombie Halloweens in 40 minutes. Like they were all pretty much walk-ups. And then I really wanted to meet Andy Serkis, who played Gollum in Lord of the Rings. But I like him for Caesar, Planet of the Apes. And even him, like I did a photo op with him, and then what do we wait in line? Like 20 minutes for him? Like if he didn't have his panel first, I probably could have been in and out. You probably could have met everyone in that whole convention in an hour and a half at the most. Like it was, I hope it does decent enough that they keep doing it because they had a nice mix of people. They had some vendors, and it's not a far drive. Right next to the King of Prussia Mall. We stopped and got lunch with the crew. Like it was not it. I almost felt weird being home early. Like every time I go to a convention, you're there all day, and like I was home early. It's like, oh, I got everything done. Like, what do I do now? Like it was a weird feeling.
Yeah, because with other conventions, it's like you might wait in one line for like an hour and a half. So to be able to get through everything in such a short period of time and see all the vendors and see what they have and pick up some stuff and get to walk around and whatnot. Yeah, it was definitely a great experience. I do hope they continue it as well. Not knocking Monster Mania. Monster Mania is great. It is one of those things where I guess the amount of people definitely, adds to the time they'll be waiting in line and time that if you can get an autograph or a photo op or anything like that. So it's a good alternative.
I mean, Kane Hodder, you go to any other convention and he's usually easily an hour wait. Like, I did get sized up by him. Fuzzy saw it. I had a Friday the 13th hat on and I was standing away from him and he just gives me like the death stare. And I'm like, kind of go to the side and he kind of follows me. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? Then
He's
like,
like,
I point at me and he's like, yes. I'm like, what the hell? And here he was like, I have that same Friday the 13th hat 30 years ago. And then he like busted out his phone and brought it up on his phone. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, wasn't the same exact one, but it was close enough.
Yeah.
You thought you were gonna get into a tussle. Instead, he's like, dude, we're matchies.
I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get my ass kicked by Kane Hodder. This is gonna be awesome. And then he's like, dude, we got the same hat. I'm like, you're old.
Twins.
You're lame.
Twinsies.
Oh.
Hey, so
and their photo ops are really cool. They do backgrounds and then sometimes they get props. So like that's something else cool with them. This little convention.
Yeah, you were able to get like a Planet of the Apes kind of background instead of the Lord of the Rings one, which that was like a custom thing that you were able to get done. And then they had like the ones for Takai.
Jason.
Oh yeah,
and then
and for Jason and stuff like that.
It's nice. I definitely had a good time there. I think the one person I was talking to, they said Corey Taylor from Slipknot, he's like part owner of this convention. It's unfortunate though, because we don't think tickets were selling very good, because they even made a post on their Facebook that was like, hey, the first 250 people to sign up will get 2 3-day passes for free. And I'm like, holy shit, you're giving out 500 3-day passes for free. Like, okay, you guys must not be doing like that good. And when you go there, it was like definitely empty, not very busy, but it was still a good time. I hope they are able to continue it and it's for years to come.
Yeah.
It's still new. Sorry, back to the movie.
Yeah,
So
I was about to say, like, I hate to say this, but like, we got to talk about this movie more because more happened, you know.
In the beginning of the movie,
Oh,
it
no, you
was
guys
like
are brutal.
everyone was just so chill about these zombies. Like when like the army people showed up, there's like, oh yeah, zombie. Like no one was phased they were zombies. Even the new army guy was like, his acting was so bad. It was like, oh my god, those are zombies. And like all the shock went away after he said that. Like it was just normal that there were zombies there. And like when that soldier zombie got bit and went to the strip club, like he's a mess. He's all bloody, and yet he somehow made it into the strip club, and like no one questioned him until the one stripper walked by, and he's like, "I'm all right." And then he looked more put together than before somehow. Like,
and they also got like really in his space, like someone who looks like they're a bloody mess, and they're like getting right up on him, like, "Hey, you okay, man? You okay?"
Yeah,
like he could have just like bit a giant chunk out of their face with how close they were getting to him.
Did you? I appreciated that the DJ, they had like fake cassette tapes on the wall behind them to give it more of a vibe, but I chuckled out loud when he was like, everyone remember, nothing comes out of your pants besides tips for the girls. I was like, oh, that was so corny.
Not the
so
tips you're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. Let's talk about the military girl's top. The blonde.
How somehow gets ripped off and it's an army bra underneath. Like
At the end.
That's just part of the uniform. Like, and we're not even supposed to know anything.
Shorter and shorter and shorter until there was nothing left to it.
Of all the boobs, and all we got was the bad boobs. And then she came along and I was like, we have hope. And then we never saw those boobs.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, what happened? The budget ran thin.
I didn't see that move either. They were like stuck on her, like, you know, they were just, they didn't go anywhere. Like, there was nothing.
Either did the movie's plot.
They glue them together or something?
They must have had like some sort of like
the Jesus freak.
Yeah, Yeah, they must have had like a spray and hold or something like that, almost like a hair gel for the boobs or something. But
No frizz hair
Wait,
gel.
I know you can glue your bra to them, but the thing is
Mhm.
that it's still gonna move. They're still
Yeah.
going to move. What did they do? Like just like glue them like together?
Yeah, they
Maybe-
use bedhead, but for boobs.
No, but one thing that I did find really wild in the whole deal when they were transitioning to zombies, or as far as the strippers transitioning to zombies, is that they're eating the clients or feeding off of them, and then they come back to life. And
Mhm.
instead of like sending the people out or something, they lock them inside the club in a caged
Mhm.
area. So
Mhm.
it's like at some point I would be like, well, where's my buddy? They got that lap dance like an hour ago. He didn't come back. Oh, I'm gonna go back there and get a lap dance, and oh, now I'm a zombie. After a while, you're gonna have the entire club in your cage, and nobody thought that would be a bad idea. Like,
It was getting a little crowded in there then towards the middle of the movie. Like you had the one guy, then there was the three guys. I love the three guys that they first put there. They they had to like drag them down the steps, throw them. I think they actually threw the one body over the railing, and then like they're not moving at all. And then as soon as they shut the door, they all three get up right at the same time, and it's just like, so.
Okay, so
I
here's
mean,
my question.
maybe the budget. You guys are all talking about. Oh, I don't know where this went. I don't know where this went. Maybe the budget went for all the girls to get implants. Do you ever think of that?
Yeah.
Except for Jenny Jameson, she already had them.
Well,
No,
I maybe
Did
they.
she get a refund?
Or
Maybe
no,
she got
no,
a
I think
refund.
a refill.
A refill, okay.
I think we figured out where the budget went actually, because it looks like there was some visual effects work that was done on this as well. And so I'm
Mhm.
thinking that maybe what they did was post filming, they went in and they got rid of the jiggle from the boobs.
Yes.
Because it was
they were still statues.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good point. Maybe if it was like, hey, if there's jiggle, this is an NC-17.
Exactly.
But if there's no
So they had
jiggle,
to-
we could have an R.
Yeah, if these aren't appealing boobs, then you can be a R-rated movie. But if they're attractive and people like them, then NC-17.
So
I'm
MJ
glad we're all
Dark-
here to figure this out.
Yep.
So MJ Dark said that the money went to Jenna Jameson, but I think Robert Englund got some money too. I couldn't
Oh, yeah.
imagine him not asking for a nice cut.
I don't
I
know.
would
You know,
imagine he got more than she did. Would be my guess.
But sometimes, you know, he's such a nice guy. Maybe it was just like, maybe it was like a Make-A-Wish thing. Like, hey, Robert, I made this movie. My Make-A-Wish is if you star in it. And he's like, I only usually do 7 bad movies a year, but I guess I can make an exception for you.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I think Jenna got the most money because she's pretty vicious when it comes to money.
Oh man, I don't know.
I don't think Robert isn't as much.
I think it was a
Robert made
make-a-wish
his
on
money.
Robert Englund's part to work with Jenna Jameson, the walking ghoul, in this movie.
Yeah.
So I think he did ask for more money than she did, because I think he was like, I don't know what I'm going to catch from her, and I want insurance.
I want my tetanus shots. Like,
yeah, I want my Tdap ASAP. I want my I want all of my shots, my A's, my B's.
maybe him spraying the Lysol was like really what he was doing, and they were just like, "That's a nice touch. We should add that to the movie."
Yeah, they're like, that actually works out great.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do
a
this.
great improv, Robert. And he's like, "Wait, what am I doing?" They're like,
He's like, sure, let's run with it. Pay
The
me
Lysol.
$5,000 more for the idea.
Oh my gosh. So
I mean,
I
it
can
was-
assure you. So I can assure you that as Jenny Jameson, we know what her prior employment was. Roxy saying as well and stuff.
What?
But we can
They were gardeners.
definitely we can
I thought she was on the Food
definitely
Channel.
wait a minute. We can definitely conclude that none of these girls ever danced before. Can we at least agree to that?
Yeah, it looked like me dancing. Like I can't dance, and like,
Yeah.
or like they were just like, just dance without music. We'll find something to put in there later. So
Too
like,
It was
one was
bad.
doing it one
Oh.
way, one was doing it another way, and then like, I don't know, just yeah, it wasn't very realistic. The movie overall,
Mhm.
and if you
Every one
watch
of those
that
women.
and
My goodness.
that's how you think that a place like that is,
Mhm.
you're wrong.
But I like what. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cypher.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, going back to the dancing, because like when I was watching him move, I was wondering, like, maybe someone hurt their hip or like broke a leg recently or something, because
Mm,
it felt so jarring watching them walk. Like, I know
Mhm.
when they were zombies, obviously they were
Mhm.
trying to kind of shudder around like a zombie, but
Mhm.
before they got bit, they looked like they had just gone through like rehab from like a really bad accident, because they were moving so frail. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that's like going to a strip
Well,
club at the old folks' home.
That's the look they were
I
going
mean,
for. I read.
well, I
No.
mean, they should have started to, because of rigor mortis and stuff like that. They should have started stiffening up, but they were stiff to begin with.
Yeah,
Like,
the boobs were stiff to begin with. Like, how did that happen? Sorry, I know
but
we
you
keep
know,
going back to the boobs, but how did that happen?
what I mean, they were there out in the open. Um, but no, there were so many indicators that these girls, and of course nobody else ever worked in a strip club. There
Wait,
were
have you?
indicators, not just their stiffness, right? What were you saying,
Mhm.
Presto?
I said, did you work at a strip club? The way you said it, you're
Yeah.
just like, of course none of you other three worked at a strip club. Like you clearly did or something.
Yeah, actually I did. But anyway, let's go on. Um,
That's how you got the name Ferocious
Uh,
Fee. Nice.
no, my name was something different. But anyway, secret. Um, so the
All
biggest
right,
indicators
Destiny.
I know that these girls were not strippers is because when they walked off the stage, they didn't take their money.
Yeah.
Because they all split it at the end like a waiter. Duh.
No, they don't.
In this
Never
movie, they
do
No.
did.
that.
No. Let's go ahead and
No.
debunk that right now. Presto, there's no way. Because the whole idea with this movie is that they're trying to fight each other out on the stage, right? They're trying to
Mhm.
win those tips. So why would any of that, I mean, none of them put any effort in anyways, but why would they pretend to put in effort? Why would they pretend to put in effort if they were just going to share the money with the one that barely
Exactly.
did anything?
It's all about bragging rights, you know? It's
Mhm.
not about the money. They're in
No.
it for
No,
the
it's
love of the
not.
game.
No.
No, it's not.
No.
No,
Well,
it's
No.
then
not.
No.
I think Highlander, said it best when what he said in the chat. Like this was the afternoon squad. This wasn't like your
ooh, that's very true. Good point.
Yeah, this was like
these
your
aren't
Oh,
Monday,
your
really?
Tuesday,
your
Wednesday club.
highlighters for like Friday night or Saturday night. No, this is
Yeah.
the
Wednesday
afternoon
night.
special. Like, oh, we have hot wings and dollar buds or whatever, or not dollar Budweiser,
Dollar dogs.
dollar dogs or something. It's
Oh
like
god.
come here for lunch, and it's like this is the squad that's there during lunch kind of thing. Where
I
Um,
wouldn't want to
sorry.
eat any lunch at that club. I'm just saying. Like,
Sorry to tell you this, but again, this is not the squad that would be even at the 1 o'clock. I'm just letting you know.
Mm,
Squad that's at 1 o'clock, they can dance, but they're also the ones that you really want to throw the money on stage because you don't want them coming over to walking over to you.
yeah,
They're
like
Fuzzy
work in
knows what I mean.
progresses.
I
yeah.
would have just made just like some paper airplanes out of the dollar bills and like thrown them across the whole room. Just
Good
to
idea. Good
avoid,
idea.
like, because
Excellent idea.
we were afraid of like the pandemic a few years ago. Like I would be like that, but in the strip club. I'd be like 6 feet away, more like 60 feet away, woman.
I
I
mean,
mean,
really,
I
you
don't
don't
think
want
I would have even sat down in that place. I would have just been like,
Yeah. That set rang this very specific tone. Like, you know how when you walk into a room, sometimes you're just like, you get a feeling, a vibe or something.
Mhm.
When I see that set, all I can think is all the surfaces are sticky.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
all I can think. Like,
Mhm.
everything's sticky and you don't want a black light. That's all I could think.
I could totally see that where you walk in and you're walking your shoes like,
Yeah, there's
it's like,
a reason
oh.
why everything is painted black, because when the lights are on, you don't want to see.
And then you go in the bathroom and you're like, wow, look at the urinal. How did all the piss get on the floor though? And you're just like, oh well.
Why did someone shit in the urinal? What are we
Yeah.
doing?
And like the sink always drips. Like you can't turn the sink off.
And the paper towel is down to the point where it's the butthole paper, where it's like it's the very last piece. And so
And you gotta get
everyone's
creative.
tried to pull it out, and so it's like it's wet and soggy, and you touch it and you feel like you just want to die.
And then you're like, oh, I'll get toilet paper. And you're like, shit, there's no toilet paper in here either.
So you use the waxy seat cover, and the waxy seat cover doesn't dry your hands off.
Struggles of being
No
a
personal
male.
experience or anything.
Like I said, I've been to some dives in the past, and it's just this was not even on par with some of them. Like, although, man, like they definitely should have had more of a stripper advisor somewhere
A
on
set
set.
designer, maybe. Like,
Well, they had a set designer. They had one of them.
yeah,
I
they
don't
did
think they were
good.
very good, but they obviously never went into a strip club to like check things out to get like in comparison or anything. Like I know that much.
Like
Like I
if they went
said,
into a strip
it's-
club, they were already loaded or high or whatever by the time they got in there, and they just
Yeah, they
were
didn't
trying
do
to go
any
off of their memory kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think they did any research. Let's see who the set designer was.
So then, wow, it was just a strange movie how like the Christian girl wanted so bad to like be a
Strip for
stripper,
grandma.
but then like the weird part was once the strippers started becoming zombies, it was like you still had a group of strippers that weren't zombies, but like somehow the zombie had no interest in going after them. It's like they worked together where it was like, yeah, we won't eat you kind of thing. It was just weird. Like,
yeah,
did you?
the zombie thing was really weird in this movie in general, right? Because
They picked and choose.
Yeah, they picked and chose, but also did you notice like so those first girls, they became zombies, and if it was a stripper, they still had their mental facilities, they were still able to function normally.
Yeah.
But anyone else, all the guys, everyone that got bitten and stuff afterwards were all like feral. Maybe that's where the animal trainer came from. Is because like all those people were like feral and stuff. Because yeah, I noticed I was like, why is everyone else turning into like a mindless regular zombie with like
they talked
aggression?
about that. They talked about that with the military early on. It was like supposedly I guess the difference of the super soldier thing that they were trying to create. It worked great for women, but it wasn't working great for men, and they were trying to perfect it or something.
I totally missed that, but that makes more sense at least. I'm glad they covered it.
Isn't that how it normally works in life? Works great for women, but not for men. Jeez. MJ Dark knows what's up. He said they had stripper juice. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. I told you that women smell nicer and have
then what?
better pheromones and they taste better apparently, but they're better zombies as well, more intelligent zombies. So we got females
really
got it all.
Because you women are good at sucking the life out of us men.
Ooh, gee, look at the time. So hey, I was gonna mention the boyfriend, right? The desperate Christian boyfriend, who's just
annoying.
He wants the sex.
He wants a boob so bad.
He wants a boob so bad. Is that what
he just wants to touch a boob. Like Then he
does.
started coming up with all those like weird names when he was just rattling off all those weird. I was like, I don't even know if these are real.
Well, so they are.
Yeah. I
Okay,
was about to say I recognize some of them.
Some of them, yeah,
so,
but some of them were like
so
the Cosby sweater, Donkey Punch, and I was like, I don't know that one.
It's a thing.
I guess he didn't have any money on him. Maybe that was the reason.
Maybe, but
It would cost like what, $20?
He well, depends on what it is, because he did mention like Dirty Sanchez and ones like that too. But you know, like he was begging for any act possible. Like he was getting flagrant with it because he was so frustrated, right? And he busted out a couple of some unique ones: the Angry Dragon, and the Foamy Chewbacca. Which, when I heard Foamy Chewbacca, I laughed out loud because I've never heard of that one. I guarantee you it's real. Guarantee you it's real. But the ones he was talking about, the ones he led up with, those are real. I'm pretty sure all the ones he mentioned were real.
Yeah, Angry Dragon definitely. The Dirty
Angry
Sanchez
Red Dragon
definitely
is more common.
Do you guys have like a secret manual somewhere?
Haven't you ever heard of like the Cleveland
like
Steamer, the Rolling Brownout,
No,
the
I've
Angry
heard
Red
of
Dragon?
it, but you guys seem to like, have like a list somewhere.
Yeah.
Women don't have a list, but you guys rattle these off.
It's
Urban Dictionary.
It's SOP 7 in the back of our head. Like
it happens.
List of sex moves that you're curious about but don't really want to participate in,
or you don't know how to bring it up.
yeah, because not everyone's just gonna like start the conversation with, "Yo, do you want to do a? This might be weird, but do you want to do a foamy Chewbacca?"
Yeah.
Don't
judge me
out. I don't know how you get into that conversation with anyone, or how you ever look at that person the same again.
I think it's one of those things where it's like a band-aid. You just rip it off. You don't try to beat around but you just, and either they're going to admire you for being so blunt, or it's going to be like,
I see.
You just kind of get it out of the way. You like that?
I think in some of those instances, it's probably better to perform the act and then say, "Oh, that's what it's called," kind of thing.
Like the Tony Danza, because that's literally what you do in the Tony Danza.
Wait a minute, Fuzzy. What are you up to?
I'm not up to anything. I'm not up to anything.
Oh, hey, speaking of vile sex acts, how about the zombie face sit that we saw during the movie?
I think that was the most disgusting thing.
Like if you weren't a germaphobe before you saw that moment in that film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at least he got his red wings.
I don't think
that's not how you want.
I don't think that was red.
That's not how you want them. That was.
I don't think that's red. I think that's something
like
totally different.
Purple.
There you go. There you go. Because that
delicious.
It was like
I want to see that was black.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like clear. It almost looked like oil mixed with petroleum jelly.
Yeah,
let's
kind of gross. Sorry, I just figured I'd bring that up real quick because that made me feel very gross when I saw that.
Yeah, that was as bad as the roach scene in Fright in Nightmare on Elm Street. What was it, 5? Or was it 4? I think it was 5. Remember when the girl turns into a roach?
And you're comparing that scene to that? Amateur.
Yeah. I hate roaches. Like,
you're
they're
weak.
Disgusting.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I don't remember that one.
I think it's in 5 and
you don't even know if you're speaking gibberish.
I can probably just YouTube Nightmare on Elm Street roach.
Yeah,
and it comes up Ferocious fee.
Yeah, the one girl turns into a roach.
Ugh.
She got what was coming to her.
Turns into a roach. That probably would have been number 4 because number 3 was Dream Warriors and number 4 dovetailed off of that, I think.
Yeah, number 4 had some of the same people. Kincaid.
Dream Master. That's right. Yeah, I think it was in that one.
I don't know if it was that one or if it was number 5.
Stop fibbing, Fee.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out because now I want to see this roach scene. I'm curious. I'm watching some girl do a bench press in number 4.
Oh yeah, that's a good scene.
That's the one.
Yeah,
sweet
that's
Jesus.
the one. It is number 4,
yeah.
and it's when she's doing the bench pressing.
I'm guessing you just saw the elbows collapse.
Dude, I just saw the. Oh God, I just saw that. I don't know if I ever saw that previously. My goodness. Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about now.
See what I mean?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I can take a lot of stuff. I can take blood, gushing blood, and everything like that.
Gushing blood.
Yes, but the roach scene and this one, no, that was too much for me.
I mean, everyone has their own limits. Everyone has some kind of trauma that you could watch something I can't, or vice versa. So, and
I think
people,
that gave me trauma.
Well, good thing you got Fuzz to take it away then. That sweet guy of yours.
I think he was traumatized too.
Don't speak for my man. He could say his own piece.
All I know is that scene with the face ride. Yeah, that.
Oh, jeez.
That was bad.
The zombie face sit is not. I didn't have it on my bingo card for things.
And she even went out of her way to advertise it. She's like, "Oh, zombie face sit," and you're like, "Hopefully not." And you're like, "Yeah, they're doing it." And then when she are we talking about when she took off her underwear and they were all
yes.
Gooey.
What? Yeah,
yeah.
Ooh, that's a whole.
And they don't fall off immediately. Yeah, that.
Yeah, when she slapped them on the wall, you're like, oh yeah, that's been a week of use that you didn't wash. Nice.
It's like those sticky creatures that we played with when we were kids. You throw them on the wall and you see how long they'd go down the wall.
And then, that's exactly what it was like. And you're just like, oh yeah, we're doing this, huh? Yeah. And she was proud about it. She owned it too.
Dude, yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't convert him into a zombie immediately after.
Or just die right there. Just
suffocation.
I'm out.
Well,
you did see his face after, right?
Yeah, you look at his face and he had all sorts of super herpes and stuff that were spreading over his face.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty gross. The special effects they did with his face looked pretty gnarly.
Maybe that was real. Maybe he really got with went to a club to get inspiration and met a girl there, and it was like, damn it, Chuck, I told you not to touch them. And he's like, I'm sorry, what are we gonna do? And they're like, well, I got an idea for this scene. I think it may work. And then that's what we got out of it.
Have you ever tried a zombie face sit?
It's like, no, tell me more. And they're like, oh boy, hold my beer. Do I got one for you?
Oh God,
man.
But I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want it to make it sound like every time I'm on, I say how bad a movie is, because this one, it wasn't as bad.
That's what I'm here for.
I've seen it 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it didn't age well. Some of the special effects were decent. Some of the zombie makeup, the one zombie with the lower jaw missing, that was pretty good.
The only good thing about this movie.
Well, some of the CGI was a little cheesy, when they'd blow the heads off and stuff. But I had to laugh when they were having the zombie dance off or whatever, good versus bad, and the one became the zombie, and the other zombie just ripped her arm off, and the other she just kind of stood there, and then she just just ripped her whole lower flesh off, so she had like skeleton bottoms. Like,
Mhm.
what the hell is up with that?
She got rid of her shins.
Yeah, it
She
was just
tore her
like,
freaking shins off. I was like, what the hell?
I was like, oh my god, this reminds me of school with those gym pants where I pull them off and they unbutton right away.
Right. Yes.
Like, except it was her skin.
Dude, how about the girl that shoots the one zombie from head to toe and the body disintegrates as she's shooting it?
Yeah,
All the
movie
way-
magic, baby.
all the way down. Like they literally went into Photoshop and just went over the person's body with the erase tool and just like went back and forth, like all the way down. It was
Because
like,
it wasn't
man.
in the budget.
Yeah, well, dude, that gun, I need one of those guns because, man, if we're ever in a zombie apocalypse, that's the gun you need. The zombie erase tool. My goodness.
Think about the good Photoshop they had.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, there's some movies where like you expect them to be cheesy, like that one. Is it Full Moon Pictures? They do like the Puppet Master and everything. Like, none of those movies are winning Academy Awards, but some of them are fun. Like, even the
Those
Toxic
movies are great.
Avenger, like Tromeville or whatever. Like, those are lower budgets and do-it-yourself movies, but they're fun. And then there's other ones where they're just like low budget and they're not fun. But then you have like hidden gems like Blair Witch Project. I mean, that was one of the cheapest movies ever. Like, not cheapest ever, but like very cheap to film. And look at the amount of money they made. I mean, God, I forget how old I was.
3 sequels, right?
Yeah, and then a remake or something.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And a video game.
Think about it. When you saw that movie, like the internet wasn't really big and stuff. So you're like, oh my God, this is found footage. Like, it's not a movie because there's no intro, like there's no credits. Like, people thought these people were really missing and stuff. Like, there's now with the internet and everything, you're never going to be able to achieve that again, and it's a real bummer.
Well, that's the thing, though, is like when Paranormal Activity came out, they actually did a really good job at making it seem like that was a legitimate case.
Oh man!
There for a while, like I remember people freaking out about that movie initially. And granted, like, the internet and stuff was around. It was earlier on, but it was still one of those things where, like, when that movie came out, people were like, what the hell is this? This happened? And then, and like, everyone was searching after they watched that movie. Like, did this happen? Who were the actual people this happened to? Because it was intense. Like, that was something that, I mean, that's nightmare fuel if something like that supposedly actually happened.
I hate paranormal shit. That's probably the stuff that creeps me out the most. And me and my wife just started watching them again. And I'd say the third one is probably the scariest for me. Like, there's a couple jump scares in that one. The girl's at the table, and all of a sudden there's a bed sheet behind her. It looks like a child under it, and it just like vanishes. Like, oh man, I watch those movies. I'm sleeping with the nightlight on.
I think my favorite of Paranormal Activity is actually Next to Kin, where the girl goes looking for her family, and she finds this Amish community, and she, believes her mom was Amish and stuff like that.
Don't spoil this one. That's the only one we didn't watch.
That was the most recent one, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually really, really good. The effects they use and the twists that they have in that. I would recommend watching that one.
Nice. Yeah, I think I stopped after number 3. And I don't know why. I think there was a delay or like something happened. I missed that one. I was like, I'll get back to it, and I just never did. But I assumed that they had gotten worse because usually I think movies get worse.
No, actually, they actually got better.
Nice.
When they introduced, when they introduced so when they introduced I can't remember what they're called right now. I'm kind of tired. So when the 2 little girls, when they introduced them later on in the movies, it starts to deviate into focusing on the actual demon themselves, itself, and where it
Right.
comes from, and it had other victims. Those are better than the first two. If you thought the first two were good, I would go for the later ones. Next of Kin, the marked one. The marked ones, I would definitely watch them. They were really good. They had really good stunts in them. They had really good acting in them. Yeah.
But they got a little ridiculous, because then you had 1 and 2, and they kind of went together, and then
hmm
the fourth one, I think it almost was like a whole different movie, and then at the very end they tied together with the other ones, and it was like, okay, that's a little cheesy.
Well, I mean, they definitely do that with some of the other ones too, right? Like Exorcist Believer, when we ended up doing that film, they literally tied that into the first film, and brought
Yeah.
all that information back to that one.
hmm
I forget what movie. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Paranormal Activity did it better though, because when the girls that were in the adult females that were in the first two are actually the little girls in the fourth one. They went back in time basically to explain why there was a connection to those two female adults, the two sisters. That was in number 4. I think number 3 is either. Yeah, I
'cause
believe
4
it's
was
number
marked
4.
ones, I think.
No, 5 was marked ones.
5 was.
That's the marked. The marked one is the boy. This is when they start focusing on the
Oh,
demon
right.
himself
Okay.
and the
Okay.
connection to all of them. The marked ones is where it's set in Hispanic community, a Latin community, and they're trying to explain why from birth the girls were marked, because there were other children that were marked too for this demon to take over.
Can we admit how good that little boy was? Is it the third one? The neighbor
I think it's the
boy?
third one.
That little boy that played you thought he was possessed or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
he was creepy as hell, man. He
Yeah,
just gave me
I
all types of vibes.
I was actually thinking. I was actually thinking of showing my daughter the first Paranormal Activity this weekend if we get time, because that was one that I showed her the trailer for a couple weeks ago, and
How old is
she
she?
showed interest. She's 15, so
I would start her off with number 1, because the other ones get a little bit. To start her off with the other ones,
Well, and you start
they have
off
more
with the
special
first.
effects on them.
right. In the first one, it was a lot more. There wasn't really a great explanation for what was happening. It was very kind of mysterious. It was less on the lore and stuff like that. It was, this horrible things happened to this couple. They don't know what the hell to do about it, and it's their horrible battle with this situation, right? It's very frenetic and fast in that fact that the tension is always there. And I noticed that if she watches the older movies with me, we went back and watched some of the Jason movies again, and she gets kind of bored with some of the cheesier, campier stuff now. So if it's something that's high impact, high intensity, and has that build on the tension, then that gets her attention a lot more. So
Yeah,
I could appreciate that. I need something also to grab my attention, or else I'm zoning out. And
sure, yeah,
and that's why I like the newer Paranormal Activities, because it does have less breaks in between the stunts that they do, the activity, the paranormal,
right,
supernatural activity. You have less of a shorter break in between them, so there's more of it, but it all makes sense. It all is put together by the end of the movie, and there's an explanation on how they got to that point.
Nice. I'm excited to go back to them then. That's
they
that's
age
good.
well. You watch them and you're not oh man, this came out how many years ago? This is this sucks. Like CGI and stuff is so much better. Like you watch it and you're still like,
Mhm.
I wonder how they got that stuff to happen. Like,
Mhm.
or do some of those special effects.
I just think it's hard for a series in itself to stay on point and serious and mysterious and intriguing without going campy. And I think
True.
Paranormal Activity did that. I think they focused more on how can we stay within the guidelines of what's kind of realistic that people would think is supernatural, that they could possibly encounter without without it being campy and silly and a little overboard. I think they do it well. It's very hard for a series to do that, and they're one of the few that can or that has done it.
That's awesome.
So.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back to those. Then I'm glad to hear that they aged well. Thank you for the heads up on that.
So, what did we think about zombie strippers as far as a number? People were throwing out numbers. Let's pinpoint the numbers. Let's go with Presto first.
So, so on IMDb, it got a 4.1. I actually feel like that's a little low.
What?
I
Wait your turn, Cypher.
I'm sorry. I'll
I
mute
mean,
myself for a second while I listen to this.
well, because I'm trying to compare them to the movies we watched so far. So, and I'm trying to see where they rank, how I would rank them on the movies Fee is so gracious to pick for us. Or who picked this one?
Canada.
No, this was
typical.
Canada.
Okay.
Notice
wait.
not here.
Wait, we can't judge these off of the other movies we've watched though. I feel like that's not fair because like
I take some of that into factor because like if I'm gonna give this one, say I give this one a 4, but then I think about the other ones and I'm just like, ooh, I gave that a 4. Like I think it's a little bit better. So I'm not basing it solely off of that. I would say it's a 5, maybe a 5-1. Like it's something that can you watch it? Yeah. Do you want to go back and rewatch it? Probably not, but like you don't feel like you, at least me, I know my colleague on the other end will strongly disagree over here, but I don't feel like I wasted an hour and a half compared to the other movies we watched. I know Silent over there is probably like he could have had a million other things he could have did with an hour and a half, but I didn't have to stop it multiple times like that other movie because I fell asleep. So I'd say it's 5. I'd give it a 5-1.
Fair,
what about you
fair.
guys? Highlander
All right,
says the
Silent.
6.
No.
Highlander said a 6.
I think you guys should probably go before I go.
All right, Fuzzy, who
What,
did
you
fall
gonna just-
asleep.
Yeah.
Fuzzy fell asleep. We had
Well, it
to
was towards
finish
the end.
watching it the next day.
Yeah, I had to pick it up after the ping pong and billiard ball. Like that part was cool, but like shortly after, I think when they were rounding up some of the zombies for the cage, I was like, but I kind of agree with Presto on this. Like I give it like a 5, maybe a 5.5. Like it's not a movie I would recommend for someone that would see the zombie strippers title and think, oh, it's going to be cool. It's going to be like one of those Cinemax kind of, Saturday night things. It's not quite on that level. But I will say, as someone that's been to a strip club a couple of times, it was a little disappointing. Well,
a couple.
A lot of times it was a little disappointing in the sense that it didn't represent strippers the way I would expect. Like it could have been a much cooler story had they leaned into the whole stripper aspect and the club aspect, and then a zombie outbreak in the club. They could have gone in a couple of different directions, and I think it would have been a much better film. And then hearing the budget for what it was, I could have probably put something together for half that budget not go with any name stars, which would probably be even a better way to go, just for the fact that I could probably get, more people that would be willing to, I guess, perform their lines in a believable fashion kind of deal, as opposed to blowing the budget on a couple of big names here and there type of thing. But
Blowing.
no, but if you have a zombie fix kind of thing and you want to see a zombie flick, this is there are much better ones out there, obviously, but this one isn't completely a waste or completely terrible, but it is 5 territory. I put it at like halfway range, and it's watchable. Some parts are enjoyable. A majority of it is like, what the heck are they doing? Kind of, why did they do it this way? Kind of thing. But that's just my take on it.
And it left me not really caring what happened next. Like, it wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens. They're just like, all right, next scene happens. Like, oh, okay. Next, like, I wasn't like, you're not on your edge of your seat waiting for some big reveal or something. It's just very simple plot.
And the Zombie Strippers 2 would not be on my watch list or queue if that came up. It'd be like, well, hopefully they go a little bit or do a little bit better the second time around, but I would have my doubts. And considering they only made 80-some thousand on it, I don't think there'll be any more Zombie Stripper movies, at least from that particular director or producer or whatnot. So we'll see.
I don't know. I think we should all get together and make a Zombie Strippers 2, just so we can show them how it was supposed to be done.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good. I don't.
So
I rather invest my time in something more wise.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that is, but
I could have made Zombie Strippers better with a tenth of the budget that they had. Probably even less than that. So I would give this a 4, and I know I gave, Summer Camp Massacre about the same rate, but I think I gave it
no, you gave that like a 7. Don't
no,
come
I
at me
did,
with
and I
that
gave
shit.
Underground a 7.
Whatever.
my ratings.
You give out these ratings like they're charities. Everyone gets a good rating.
Underground rating was a tragedy of a score. I'm just saying.
And yet Fee was like, that's such a solid movie. The script was great. The casting was great. 7/7.
I was scrubbing IMDb after that episode to make sure that I didn't find your name connected to it in any form or fashion, because I felt like there was some favoritism, and I was curious why.
She got kicked back to review that episode.
Yeah.
That director got like $1.37 in royalties last month.
Something didn't seem kosher. Something didn't seem kosher about that. Just saying.
Yeah,
so
I want my money.
Moving on. I would give this a 4 only because 1, Robert Englund was good in it, and 2, they did have good special effects. I think the special effects were good, and I kind of commend them on if their goal was to make sure that the boobs didn't move, they did a really great job there. So I give them a 4 for that. Yeah. So, Cypher, how low can we go?
That's what I kept wondering as I was watching this movie. I was like, how much worse could this get? I will give this movie the fact that the last like 20 minutes ish, 25 minutes are actually better, but that's rough when the ask is, hey, watch through an hour and 5 minutes that are garbage before the film starts to get better. For the last 25, I do agree with you. Robert Englund did a really good job. He knew what the assignment was. They, I'm sure, paid him pretty well for his time, and he did a really good job with it. Everyone else, that's a different story.
What about the janitor? He was very enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Yes, he
Paco.
was.
Paco.
He reminded me
Yeah.
of Guillermo from the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Yeah. Right. I kind of got those vibes from him too a little bit. Yeah. Paco. You know, like with the underground, I felt like when we watched that, none of those characters except for the girlfriend had any personality or any quality really that I'm like, yes, that person should live. Um, I would say Paco and probably like one other person maybe in this film should have lived, maybe.
Mhm.
But even then, I mean, it just this lands low. This lands about a 3.5, I think is what I would have to give it. Um, I don't know. In general, like again, at least the underground had good filming for the most part. Granted, they had the issue with the lighting, but
Mhm.
it didn't feel like it was a super budget film when it came to the filming. This movie, felt like they had a Cracker Jack box budget, and the fact that it was originally supposed to be like $1 million,
Mhm.
that hurts. That
Mhm.
that really hurts me a little bit to know that someone offered them $1 million for this thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I generally everything in this movie was about as stiff as the boobs that we saw in the film.
Mhm.
So yeah, 3.5.
Did you see where it ranked number 13 out of 15 on garbage movies with a ton of skin?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that, but that's
So that means there's 12 more that have more skin that are worse than zombie strippers.
Mm. Wow.
it just I don't sorry. I'm
Let's put it this
gonna,
way.
if I keep going, I'll shit on it too much. So I'm just gonna wrap it there.
And let's just be
So-
clear, the director Jay Lee is not Jason Lee from like Mallrats and stuff. So let's
Yes,
just
Right.
let's
Okay.
just put that out there so when
Keep
we
his
see
name
Jay
separate.
Lee,
Keep his
they
name
don't think it's
separate.
him. Yeah,
Okay.
poor
So
guy.
I will say this. I don't know if anybody's watched Meat Market or Meat Market 2. This is a
Mhm.
micro budget kind of film where it was like the guy made it on $2,000. That was with a full cast plus the hordes of zombies. He basically only paid for catering. That's about the most of his budget. Everything else he pretty much got for free. I'd rather watch that Meat Market 1 and Meat Market 2 on a constant loop for 2 days than watch this again.
Mm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'll give it a 4 only because I think the effects were good. I think whoever put those in was awesome, but you got to have a real plot, and I don't think Zombie Strippers really has a real plot. You got to have a real plot to entertain me. It's got to make at least, even in a fantasy world, to kind of make sense. And I don't think strippers being zombies and having a decline and the stupid. I think men aren't the brightest sometimes, especially when they're in front of boobs. But I don't
Fair.
think they're
That's
that
fair.
stupid. I don't think they're that stupid to allow zombies to eat them. You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean,
go
you're
into
caught
a
up in
room
the
by
moment.
themselves.
I think you're maybe giving him too much credit. I think there are plenty of stupid men that are far stupid enough for that. If
Hey, I
you
was trying to give
if
y'all more
you
credit. But
if you showed a picture on a cell phone that like barely even showed like a nipple slip or something, I guarantee you someone would lean in and get their head bit off by a zombie, even if they knew the zombie was right there, just because men and boobs.
They'd
Yeah.
risk it.
Like even if you just yelled like, yo, there are boobs in that room over there in that dark corridor, guarantee you, in a group of like 10 guys, probably 8 of them would go check it out.
Yeah, yeah.
8 of them?
At
80%.
least, maybe 9.
At least, maybe 90?
Yeah.
I-
Wow.
Well, the other 2 were gay, so that's why I say it out of 10.
We had a we had
So you're
a-
telling
a-
me
They might have
100
come over and
wait,
been
wait,
like, dang, that's a good rack.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me 100% because the other 2, the other 20% being gay, they would at
Mhm.
least be trying to check out what she's wearing, right?
Yeah, the fashion.
There you go. So 100% would go at that point. Which
I
telling
mean,
me.
at that point, it's just like a team group effort. It's just like, well, if one's going, I'm going to go. Then it's like, well, I don't want to be the one not going. So, yeah, I guess, they're all going to
Solidarity.
follow.
Yeah, it's
Gotta have
the
solidarity.
buddy system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know how you girls like have to have a partner to go to the bathroom or whatever? Like,
You
guys
have
don't
to have
do
partners
that.
to go
but-
look at boobs. It's
Yeah.
why strip clubs exist, apparently.
Mhm.
Oh wow. Okay.
The more you know. I wish we could do that little theme and logo right across the screen right now.
Yeah.
So I guess we have a request, and that is Zombie's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Yes. Yeah, it
And it
looks like
sounds like-
that.
Sounds like people are up for that. I know it's one of Fuzzy's favorites. So
Yeah.
MJ Dark also mentioned Evil Tunes.
Mm.
Evil Tunes.
I don't know what Evil Tunes is.
I've seen
But-
the advertisement for it. But we can check it out.
It's worth a look. Worth a look. I
Worth a
mean,
look.
it's probably not going to be the Underground 7, and it might not be a Zombie Strippers 3.5. But
It's got an
we'll
interesting
see.
trailer on IMDb.
Is this from 1992?
Evil
Evil
Yeah.
Tunes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
David
sounds about right.
Carradine.
I mean, David
Ooh,
Carradine's not. I mean, David Carradine's awesome. So
Yeah.
Hey, who's awesome? Dick Miller. I didn't realize how many movies that guy is in.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No, legit, his name is Dick Miller. He was the pawn shop guy in Terminator. He was the drunken Gremlins.
the guy
he was
in
the
Gremlins,
garbage
yeah.
man in Burn.
Yeah.
The Burbs. Like,
Dude,
he's been in a ton of movies.
Passed.
Yeah.
I mean, he lived a good life. He was 90. Like,
Yeah,
That's
big bucket of win
good.
for him.
but yeah, you watch movies now, you're like, holy shit, he's in there. Holy shit, he's in this one. Like,
Dude,
he's
in
everywhere.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like the modern day Samuel L. Jackson.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's accurate.
So we
Evil
have
Tunes and-
established.
Oh.
So we established that while, one of our fans, hopefully I can call him that. One of our fans says this is a 6. We got as high as 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm
it's-
surprised Fuzzy said 5.5.
I mean, there's some stuff to look at, but it's like I said, it's
No.
not
It ain't
it's not what
boobs.
I. Well, it's non-movable ones. It's like the the hardened silicone. They didn't squeeze
Yeah.
them after surgery
even-
kind of thing.
Yeah,
some-
Even the non-movable ones move with you.
fuzzy. Like I could right now jump on Google and type in something like flexible rack if I was referring to something in the garage, and I would come up with accidental images of better racks than these that were intentionally selected for this film.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Like-
disagree with you on that one. Like it wasn't on par with like the B movie Scream Queen, like Skinamax or Show Me Time,
Oh, man.
like Friday and Saturday night after hours type of stuff. But they tried. They
There
they
was
really
no
tried, and they got
there was just
at
a
the
zombie
time-
face sit.
and they got Jenna Jameson at the time. She was pretty big, making that transition from adult to regular screen stuff. But
To
Man,
fake
Yeah.
a doc.
she looked like she was transitioning to giving a rimmer for $5.
I mean, you say that, but like I said, if you look up pictures of her without them
Oh.
photoshopped,
I can only
They-
imagine
it's almost
60
like she got
years
like
later.
butt implants, and it's just like I don't know. I'll have to send you a picture. You could look them up. It's just like
Yeah.
you feel
I'd rather
bad. Like
I'd rather you send me a picture because I don't want to fill my Google search with. Just saying,
that's
you
fair.
know, it's one click delete if you send it to me. It's a lifetime of regret in Google search moving forward if I look for it.
Yeah, you'll
I
start getting those
appreciate
weird
that.
advertisements. I'll be like,
I'll try and
Uh-huh.
search up like Squatty Potty or something, and I'll find
Oh my
something
God.
like Two Girls, One Cup,
Whoa.
starring Jenna Jameson or something.
oh.
Too soon? Too soon for Two Girls, One Cup. Gotcha.
No.
I found the line. I found the line.
I think that one will always get like a groan or something like that. No matter the time, until people. I can't imagine them forgetting it. It's almost like
Has
People will
anyone
never
watched
forget.
it all the way through though?
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh, I thought you meant you. I was like, you sick
No,
fucker.
no,
I'm,
sir.
I'm pretty
No,
sure
sir.
somebody's watched it all the way through, but like
I made it to like 5 seconds in high school. Like
yeah,
Saw everything I needed to see in a very short period of time. We were good.
like oh, is that soft serve? No, oh no.
imagine those
is
parents.
that's the
like-
ice cream shop.
It's like, yo, your daughter is the star of Two Girls, One Cup. That's awesome. It's like, yeah, I know.
Imagine being that girl's parents.
Oh God.
Or
Like
her
what if
husband
you
and not
stumbled-
knowing.
Oh,
Like finding out
Oh.
like you're married for 6 years, have a kid, and then like you're at a barbecue and the neighbor's just like, so do you know? And you're just like, what do you mean? It's like your wife. You're like, no.
Dude.
You're like, she's the girl from that.
that's like Office Space. When he comes over, he's like, "Yeah, Lumberg porked her." He's like, "She was riding the bone roller coaster." Oh, and it's like one of those. Like, imagine someone doing that to you, and you find out that your fiance or your wife is that person or significant other.
It's
That
like,
would
But
be
freedom
so
of
we're-
expression.
we're Eskimo brothers, you know that?
yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Freedom of
Um,
expression. What about that?
I haven't
Yeah,
heard
but-
Eskimo Brothers in a while.
Yeah, me either.
Bringing it back.
The Brothers Hood.
Oh
The Brothers Hood.
my God. Oh my God. Anyway. So we have 3 minutes before Fuzzy turns into a pumpkin.
I'm not turning into a pumpkin, but I do need to get something to eat before. Well, actually, there's not going to be a Xbox Ultimate tonight.
But we need to
So-
feed the
I
cat.
should get a break.
We got, yeah, I did. Well, yeah, I'm happy to have a break. Yeah, I got to feed the cats as well because they're
Ellie's down here waiting. Ellie's waiting.
Yeah, that's normally my shadow.
She's staring in the kitchen.
Sounds like you need to hire yourself an animal coordinator like they did for this film.
Yeah,
Get that cat in line.
You'll get better results.
yeah, we need a trainer. We need a groomer.
Yeah.
I don't think the cats need to be a walker or anything like that because they keep on running up and down the stairs, so they got enough running and exercise.
Yeah, they got the exercise. They got that. They just need that coordinator, that trainer. That trainer is the money.
I get a set designer too while we're at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe the cat needs some new furnishing. Who knows?
Yeah, a new cat tree.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, this movie had like almost 10 set dressers.
Sweet
Wow.
Jesus.
And set
Almost
dressers
10.
for 7 actors in the movie, and most of them didn't wear clothes. How ironic.
I think you should go there or out there with a bikini top and bottom, or no, maybe just the bottom. Yeah, just do the bottom.
They needed a boob coordinator is what they needed.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. They
Mhm.
definitely did.
One other thing that I wanted to mention real quick before we call it on this one.
Mhm.
The comment when they're in there and they're getting ready to kill the zombies finally after letting everyone get munched. You've got Robert England in there, and you've got like the DJ or whatever. And that guy's like, he sees Robert England's weapon that he pulls out. He's like, "Hey, you got any more of those?" And Robert England's like, "Are you kidding me?" And he whips out his NRA card like a like a trusty American with his big old NRA card. He's like, "I got you stocked, brother." And he pulls out like 7 guns just out of nowhere because America. I thought that was entertaining. I was like, wow, okay.
The drawback was he didn't know how to use any of them.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Hey, so how do you load this?" He's like, "Well,
I can have them. I don't have to know how to use them. Like, what?
it just scares people if they see him." So, yeah, that was weird. That was a weird idea. Weird thing to have him say. I don't know. Anyways,
No, that movie had a lot of weird situations, which so long to that movie. But for those that have an interest in zombies and an interest in strippers, check it out at your own risk, kind of thing. It's not as probably
There are
as
much
bad.
better ones.
Well, what was that other one you were saying about earlier? Decadence or something? Or
So Zombie Decadence, and then there's another one that's Zombies, and of course Fuzzy's favorite, the Boy Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse, because that one has boobs in it too. So
yeah, it's a lot smaller section in the movie, but still, that smaller section I think does better than all of this movie. So
well, there's also another scene in there. It might not show boobs, but
yeah,
there's another scene in there.
Yeah, no.
I just like when they go into what was it, the True Value or the small Home Depot, shop and
like
everything,
it was like Ace Hardware.
the hardware store, and they're making their stuff. I like the combination of the song they picked and them grabbing all of the items to make their weapons and stuff like that. That's one of my favorite scenes in there. And then them actually going in and using them, where you see, the after effects of the things that they chose to put together and everything. I just think that scene in itself is just, makes the movie. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is great. You have the one scene where, I know Fuzzy cringes every time he sees it, when they're in the bedroom and they're trying to get out, and the main character, he's like hanging on for dear life. We all know that scene.
Oh yeah,
we all know that scene.
Something stretches beyond stretchability.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny. It's not really campy. It's just kind of silly and funny. But I just think that one kind of those scenes and stuff like that merge together towards the ends, where they're in the hardware store and then they actually go to use the stuff. I just think that makes the movie in itself. So, and of course the cat scene that starts it off. Those eyes coming from the cats.
Yeah.
That was just creepy and funny at the same time. But yeah, I think we should do that one, because I think we'll definitely have a better rating for it.
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen it, Cypher or Presto?
What is this one?
I
The Scouts?
Yeah, the Boy Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Like Ty Sheridan.
I feel like I've
just
seen
mentioned about something stretching makes me laugh just even thinking about it. So I'll have to watch it. I am up for that for sure.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna say it was $1 million. I don't know how much the budget was, but you can see the quality of it. The one guy from Workaholics, the one with the real long hair, he's in the beginning scene and he's hilarious in it. Who's the one guy that's the Scoutmaster? He's from where? Do you remember where he's from, Fuzzy?
He's in a bunch of movies. He does comedy stuff. I can't
Mhm.
remember his actual name though. But
When you see him, yeah, when you see him, you'll remember him from other stuff. It'll just pop in your head. He's in a lot of stuff. But they have well-known actors in it, and they have like well-known supporting cast that you've seen in other movies. Ty Sheridan right now is on a TV show, one of like the emergency EMS kind of things, EMT type shows. That's what he's currently doing. Unfortunately, the one what's his name? I'm trying to think what his character's name is. But the one kid that's in there that's like going for his Eagle Scout badge and stuff like that, like the highest honor that they're kind of trying to ditch to go this party, he actually passed away. Um a couple years after he made this movie. So
Oh, dang.
unfortunately, yeah, I mean it was really sad when I heard cuz he was going to be in another movie that was supposed to, be really good. I saw the actors list for it, the casting list for it. But unfortunately he passed away.
God, that sucks.
Um yeah, I know. It's remember the guy from Star Trek? The one that got run
Wait, are
over by
you?
his own
Oh
vehicle?
God, yeah. Okay, I was afraid you were
Yeah.
talking about the same person, Anton
yeah,
Yelchin.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
sad too because
dude.
they were supposed to have another couple of Odd Thomas episodes,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
movies and stuff like that, and they were in the works for him to
yeah. Well,
do, and he
and
died.
he was in so many good movies. Like he there for a minute, he had a bunch of really good horror run. Because
Mhm.
he also did the Fright Night remake also, and
Yep.
that was
Oh
actually
yeah,
really
that was
good.
really
I
good.
enjoyed that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that dude, that talk about such a messed up, like weird coincidence getting basically
Yeah.
jammed in by your own
Mhm.
car and the pillar like
Mhm.
that. Oh,
yeah.
Yep. And Fright Night, the remake of Fright Night was actually really good.
it was. It
It
was
was.
it was
It was
very good.
really good.
I'm gonna have to
And
check
that's
that one out.
surprising.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
had
really is
Colin
good.
Farrell in it too, and it was like
And he
everyone
was good
everyone in
in
there
it.
did a really good job.
Yeah, Colin
Fright
Farrell did
Night,
a really awesome job.
2011. Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
would
believe
that would
Six
be
so.
it.
point four.
Mhm.
Colin Farrell. Wow.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
original was what, the 80s,
Yeah.
if I
The original
remember
was 80s,
correctly.
and they made a part 2. They made a
Oh,
part
that's
2.
right, they did.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yep. And it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't on the same lines as the first one, but I'm
yeah,
not gonna say it was bad either.
yeah,
I mean, the girl was good in it, you know, especially
yeah.
when she comes out of the water.
God, I
That
gotta
was
go back and
they
watch
did
it
it.
again too. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
they Yeah, that was a really good scene, where where she pops out of the water, after she becomes, the vampire and stuff like that. That was a really good scene right there. But there was so much more before then that was good too. So I think all three of them, including the remake, that I wish they would have made a third one to the
Mhm.
original two, but because I mean, they could have gone for a third. There
Yeah,
was room. There was room for it.
yeah.
So,
Makes me sad that they didn't do the Odd Thomas and some of that stuff after
yeah.
Anton's death too. Is because like it was so good. It was so well set up for it. And it
Mhm.
just, yeah. I mean, like I appreciate, I guess, the fact that they didn't try to recast his character or something, but it sucks to see something like that get
Mhm.
shuttered and it be because of someone dying like that. Like that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, there's only one kind of actor that I think might be able to do it. Um, and that's DJ Qualls. I think he has a range for it. He has the look for it because the guy wasn't when they did Odd Thomas. Odd Thomas was not supposed to be this gorgeous guy or anything like that, but he
Mhm.
wasn't supposed to be like an ugly hunchback either. And I
Right.
think DJ
Yeah.
Qualls right now fits into that. he's not overly, handsome, but he's not ugly either. He's kind of like the average, what an average guy would look like,
Man,
especially when he has a beard.
I
And I
always
think
I always struggle with him though because all I can ever think of is when he's eating the ass cheek
oh my
French
god.
toast in Road Trip.
Did you
That's
see him
all
in
I
the
can
new
ever
guy
think.
though? Did you see him in
Yes,
the
I
new
did.
guy?
I did.
And you still go back to the original road trip
That's the
scene?
only thing that ever brings me back. I remember him with that shit-eating grin on his face in the cafe after he eats the eats the French toast. I'm like,
And the cheetah underwear.
oh,
So so why don't we do
So bad.
this? We'll talk to Canada and see which one he wants to do, because like I said, I sent y'all a list of things to pick out. We don't have to do any of those, or we could do others, or we can do all of them. So we'll see where the Boy Scouts Guide to Zombie Apocalypse fits in, and then see if we can't get all 5 of us on like I originally had hoped that we could do.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was hoping for tonight. But yeah, let's do outros, and Fuzzy's gonna do them.
All right, I guess I'm doing outros. Well, let's start with Presto. Presto, let everybody know where they can find you on either social media or what you got going on as far as events or conventions that you may be heading to.
So you can find me on Instagram at mromanishyn, ROMANYSHYN. I actually, well, because I had foot surgery last Friday, I'm really not supposed to be doing much. So I just kind of been hanging out, watching some movies, going a little stir crazy. But yeah, besides that, in another week, I'll get stitches out and hopefully I'll be back to walking around and like not with a cane or a boot on anymore. My wife was nice enough. I have a shoe walker and she drew Nike logos on them. So it looks like I have a Nike boot. And like so many people are like, is that a Nike boot? Where did you get a Nike boot? And I was like, no, my wife
That's a
drew
good
this
wife
on.
right there.
Like, yeah, she's all right. I'll keep her around. So yeah, that's all I really have going on for now.
Awesome. Well, always a pleasure having you on and being a full-time panel member. Greatly appreciate you being here tonight. And Silent Cipher, let everybody know where they can find you on social media and any events or podcasts you have coming up here soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for having me. It's always fun to hang out with you guys and talk movies. Good or bad, whether we liked what we saw or not, it's always fun to sit here and chat about because, like, I mean, it's always more enjoyable to watch these movies with a crew. Even if we can't all be together to at least have the conversation about it is always a lot of fun. As far as where you can find me, you will find me nowhere actually for the rest of this weekend because I've got some stuff getting me out of the house for a couple days. But you'll catch me on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Xbox International Podcast. You'll catch me on Double Barrel Gaming this coming Friday, or next Friday, I guess it is, hanging out with yourself, Fuzzy Belvedere, and Boom, and whoever else might show up. Besides that, I don't think I have too much in the works at the moment. I've got 1 or 2 things that are in planning. But besides that, I'm honestly keeping it kind of low key right now. It's been chaos at work and I'm just trying to enjoy the free time while I get it.
Amen.
Nice. Well, as always a pleasure when we have you on. I love having you as a full-time member as well. And look forward to next time we have you on the show as well. And B, let everybody know where they can find you.
So next weekend, we're not doing a podcast because we might do a recorded one. So we'll talk amongst ourselves what that looks like. But next week is going to be Monster Mania over at the Inner Harbor in the Hilton Inner Harbor over at Baltimore, Maryland. So if y'all are, there, whatever, if Fuzzy and me are going to be at the top of the escalator the first day, we're going to be at the ticket booth the second day, and then we're going to be in the autograph room on the third day on Sunday. So, come up to us if you see us and say hi or whatever. We might have a recording. We tried to do that last week and we just couldn't make it happen, but we'll try harder this week. And then pretty much after that, I think we have the haunted house thing in our local area, just like next town over. But other than that, we're just kind of hanging out. But you definitely catch YouTube. I'll be on Twitter. So yeah. All right, Fuzzy.
And for all those that are into gaming, you probably already know where to find me. All my rambles and rants are on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. We'll be on no Xbox Ultimate tonight at 10 p.m. But we'll be doing the Shop Podcast tomorrow at 10 p.m. on PTK Blam's channel. Sunday, Pixelated Echoes with 3-Bit at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just do a search on YouTube for Pixelated Echoes. And then on Double Barrel Gaming with Mr. Boomstick on Monday for Xbox Lunch Break Special 12 noon and FSP later that evening. And then hope to see everybody here, not next Friday, but the Friday day after for the next Fright Night with Ferocious Fee. And thank you all for checking us out, watching us. For those that hung out with us and interacted with us, we greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already. Always appreciate the support. And for those that catch us on replay, let us know what you think. Make a comment down below. Make suggestions also for other movies you'd like to hear us talk about as well. Thanks for your time. Have the great rest of your weekend, and see y'all in the next 2 weeks. Take care.